Well, thank you, friend. Shabbat Shalom, and greetings to you all. We had the first new moon of the year the other day, the new moon of Aquarius. And the first order that God gave man was to observe and celebrate the new moon. Now, we've just entered the Hebrew month of Shvat. Now, it's confusing because the Torah does not give names to the months. They simply count from Nisan, which the Torah tells us is the first month. There's no other names. Everything else is just numbered. 7th month, 10th month. So putting Rosh Hashanah aside for the moment, that makes Shvat the 11th month. And that makes it the month of Aquarius, which is about blessings of abundance and dreams, new life, the dissemination of divine instruction from the heavens to the world. And the month Shvat also represents a saying in Hebrew. Shnishma besurot tovot. We should be blessed to share good tidings. And we all have good tidings, my friends, and we just have to realize it. This is the dawn of the age of Aquarius. Age of Aquarius. 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 Harmony and understanding. Sympathy and trust depending. No more falsehood or derision. Golden ribbon dreams of vision. Mystic crystal revelation. And the mind's true liberation. Aquarius. Aquarius. Now the month just started. Make a wish, because it will come true. Anything can happen. You never know what the divine plan of your life may entail without knowing it, without realizing it. An old shepherd was handpicked to deliver freedom, and we have that ability to constantly be freeing ourselves from the limitations that we impose. And one of the ways we free ourselves is in our freedom to observe spiritual practices unique to our own lives. Like now when we come together as a like-minded group, the collective consciousness of seekers showing faith and love, a community, a chavur, a fellowship, expressing our nature of kindness, compassion, thoughts, feelings, hopes, dreams, and wishes, unites us all. In this community house of spirit, Beth Ruach, sharing and bringing light, keeping fear at bay. So once again, please do go ahead. Invite everybody, Those who can come physically, the rest digitally, psychically, emotionally, spiritually, as we gather and share from Psalm 133, the Hine Matov. Come together. Hine Matov. How good and how pleasant it is for brothers and sisters together. Community. 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 Together. Let's all spread love, goodwill, and fellowship to the world together, my friends. This is you setting aside just a little bit of sacred time in your own sacred space to honor and converse with whoever, whatever you happen to believe in. We all believe in something. Because this is a part of your kavanah, your intention that you put out to the universe. It is your goodwill. And as we always do, let's take some time now to send some of that goodwill, some light, and some healing out to whoever you know that needs it, as we close one year and open another with healing, always with healing, my friends. Healing and renewal for everybody. Floats through space, finding those in need. So send it out. For those you know, and for the souls and spirits of everybody you love. So think whoever that needs healing and renewal and love, or just plain goodwill. Focus on them, call their names. It's not just for people. It's for our pets. It is for the earth. It is the healing of the world. It is the tikkun olam that is just part of our spiritual genetic makeup to do good and to restore. Let's send thoughts and energy for health and renewal for everybody in need. For those in our hearts and our minds, for John, for Dan, for Helen and Gloria, for Mary and Frank, and for the bee. Friends, it is the kindness, the healing wishes, goodwill, and love we all send out. It just circles the world finding those in need. So thank you, each of you, for all you do, for all you care, because the world is a world of spirit, and spirit, my friends, never dies. Me, Shabbat, Avocado, Makor, Vimotenu, may the source of strength bless the ones before us. Help us find the courage, make our lives a blessing. The renewal of body, the renewal of spirit. Let us say, Amen. Mishperach, let us all have our spirits renewed. This is the great prayer for healing, which we call upon God to heal as He is healed before. Mishperach, may He who blessed, because all healing is a blessing. Let's all send and receive healing and renewal energy in our efforts to love, to share, to care, to grow. The last week we had our formal introduction to God. We even learned His name, and we saw He picked a reluctant person to deliver His message. Exodus 4:9. And Moses said, please, no man of words am I, not at any time in the past, nor now. For I am heavy-mouthed and heavy-tongued. Now there's great information there, and there's a fantastic midrash, which is a story, about why Moses was heavy-tongued. And if you don't know it, you should go read it. And so he needed Aaron to speak for him. Now, it's one of my favorites. And it's taught to children, but it's not taught so much as a possibility, but as a fact. And it serves to only distort free thought and examination. And I'll leave that there so as not to confuse any pre-existing beliefs. But with everything you read, my friends, be open to the myriad of possibilities as to what something may also really mean. We're going to see that today, as we do every time that we get together and read from this great book. But we see right away, and Moses demonstrated quickly, the people weren't going to listen to him, and things were never quite as simple as it appeared. After his first chat with Pharaoh, Pharaoh ordered the people to make bricks without giving them straw. It's not so easy to do, now is it? Now with this, Moses is more determined now not to be the spokesperson for God. He sees himself as a failure. He sees himself as a poor choice. He sees himself, quite frankly, as a loser in this whole thing. What have I done to deserve such a fate? I realize I have left it too late. And so it's true, pride comes before a fall. I'm telling you so that you won't lose all. I'm a loser, and it's not what I am here to be. Now, you know what, my friends? We actually spend much of our lives making bricks without straw. Your doubts and fears keep you in slavery. You face a situation which seems hopeless. What can you do? Finding a way, persevering, overcoming. That, my friends, is making bricks without straw. Even when things seem dark, God makes a way where there is no way. That's faith. And you do it all the time with all kinds of things in your life. You just don't recognize it. Let's now free ourselves from the tyrants and negative thinking. We've been slaves our whole lives to doubts, fears, apprehensions. Let's be delivered, as Moses delivered the children of Israel. Let us come out of the land of Egypt, the land of constraint, out of the house of bondage. This week we begin the journey as we read Va'era, and I appeared. You're now going to get your first glimpse, your first inkling, your first hint at a promised land. And you know what? You have a promised land. Everybody does. We think of the Exodus. We think of three things. And like a great book or play or film, they almost serve as an introduction, climax, and a finale. And they are the plagues, splitting of the Red Sea, and the giving of the Ten Commandments. Now you could do an entire book on just those three things being those three things. Exodus 6:2. And God spoke to Moses and said to him, I am Yahweh, and I appeared to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob as El Shaddai. I was not known to them by my name, Yahweh. That's not fully true. Go back and you will see God referred to as Yahweh and as Elohim, in addition to El Shaddai. But it accounts for why we are getting this formal introduction here, because the name does mean something. What's in a name? Which we call a rose by any other name would smell as sweet. In this case, the name of God does mean something. Now, we have learned the name of God. We still don't say it, but if you understood its meaning, it's not just a name. And it means a hell of a lot more than simply saying God. Exodus 6:6. Therefore say to the children of Israel, I am Yahweh. And I shall bring you out from under Egypt's burdens, and I shall rescue you from their toil, and I shall redeem you with an outstretched arm and with tremendous judgments. I shall take you to me as a people, and I shall become your God. And you'll know that I am Yahweh, your God, who is bringing you out from under Egypt's burdens. Now, this idea that God took the people out from the burdens of slavery is emphasized again and again in the Torah as well as in later books of the Bible. It is the cornerstone of Israelite faith, that God has proven his divinity and his special attachment to Israel and to all of humanity by the dramatic act of liberating the people from Egyptian or any other slavery. The Lord said to Moses, see, I've set you as a god to Pharaoh, and Aaron your brother will be your prophet. You it is who will speak all that I charge you, and Aaron your brother will speak to Pharaoh, and he will send off the Israelites from his land. And I, on my part, I shall harden Pharaoh's heart, that I may multiply my signs and my portents in the land of Egypt. Pharaoh will not heed you. Look at those statements. Moses will be Pharaoh's God. Aaron will be his prophet. And God will manipulate things to ensure that Pharaoh will not let the people go. I want you to keep those statements in mind as you read what transpires. Exodus 7:7. And Moses was 80 years old, and Aaron was 83 years old when they spoke to Pharaoh. And Yahweh said to Moses and to Aaron, saying, when Pharaoh will speak to you, saying, produce a wonder, then say to Aaron, take your staff, throw it in front of Pharaoh, let it become a serpent. Now, first look at the age. Moses was 80 years old when this begins. And we know that the people wander for 40 years, so that means he's going to be 120 when it's all over. Now, what you also have to realize is we can do things at any point in time in our lives, and that's what God's saying here. You can be 80 and start something new. And what you don't realize, because you read translations, is that the noun used here, tanin, for serpent, is not the ordinary na'ash, which is translated as snake. Tanin as serpent means a monster. It's the sea monster from an unearthly realm. It is like the Leviathan that is talked about earlier. Now, we all know the story how Pharaoh calls his magicians, and everyone turns their staffs into serpents, and Aaron eats the other ones, and God says to Moses, Exodus 7:14, Pharaoh's heart is heavy. He has refused to let the people go. Pay attention to the times you see this phrase and note who brings about the heaviness. The heaviness becomes an incredible theme during this whole section. Now, a few times it's very specific and a few times it's not. But go back to what God said he would do earlier. He would harden Pharaoh's heart. And why? This is not done for punishment. This is done as part of God's introduction of himself to the world. We are taught that Pharaoh was mean. He would not let the people go. This was karma for how the Egyptians treated the Israelites. No, it was none of these things. This was of design. This was not punishment for slavery. This was not Pharaoh being mean. God specifically was not allowing Pharaoh to do this. Go to Pharaoh in the morning. Here, he'll be going out to the water, and you'll stand opposite him on the banks of the Nile, and you will take in your hand the staff that was changed into a snake, and you'll say to him, Yahweh, the God of the Hebrews, sent me to you, saying, let my people go, that they may serve me in the wilderness. And here you haven't listened so far. Yahweh said this, by this you'll know that I am Yahweh. Here, I'm striking with the staff that's in my hand on the waters that are in the Nile, and they'll be changed into blood. This is the introduction of the 10 plagues. This is a perfect time to use the name of God. Not by this you'll know I am the Lord, but by this you'll know I am the one who causes being. That's what Yahweh means, the one who causes being. Now these now are the plagues of Egypt. Makot Mitzrayim. This is our real introduction. They're still applicable in your life. And we're going to talk about that later when we review Passover at the end of March. Now the first of the 10 is the blood of the Nile. You need water. You can't drink. Try going a week without water. Try going a day. Well, the fish die, and dead fish stink. The ramifications of the plague in many ways are worse than the plague. It's never just the thing, but all the ancillary effects. Next come the frogs, lice, then an insect swarm, also known as a rove, horde. Now, it's the only use of this term in the Bible. What is a horde? It is a mob. This is a warning of the plague that is the mob. This might still be the most prevalent plague today. Right, there are mobs everywhere. Notice at this point, Pharaoh says, go, get out. But something stops him. And his heart is made heavy, and he changes his mind. Well, we know what stops him. Next, we get a livestock epidemic, a pestilence. But this time, it only affects Egypt's livestock, not Israel's. That in itself is a huge announcement, because this is part of the theme of distinction, separation, that overrides the entire Torah and the story of creation. Begin to notice how much of the Bible is based on distinctions, divisions, separations. And Yahweh did this thing on the next day. And all Egypt's livestock died. And all of the livestock of the children of Israel, not one died. Okay, so we got no water for a week, and now all livestock dead. So pretty well food's being wiped out. So far, it's not looking too good for Egypt. Our sixth plague comes from furnace ash, thrown in the sky so that when it falls back down, it causes boils. It is the only use of furnace and ash in the entire Bible, and to some, becomes a warning of events to come. This black dust from the kiln turns into broadcast contamination. Little 2020 there. It's a plague clearly paired with the preceding plague of livestock pestilence, but this one is affecting man as well as beasts. But now we got weapons of the chemical dust. If fire them, we're forced to. Then fire them we must. One push of the button, and a shot the world wide. And you never ask questions when God's on your side. Now that's the never sung verse of with God on our side. Exodus 9:12. And the Lord strengthened Pharaoh's heart, and he did not listen to them. Well, you're now being reminded who's causing Pharaoh to have a hardened heart. It is God. He does not let Pharaoh relent. He does not let Pharaoh let the people go. And so Pharaoh, the slave keeper, is a slave to God. He can only do what God has him do. Exodus 9:16. And in fact, I established you for this purpose, for the purpose of showing you my power, and in order to tell my name in all the earth. Pharaoh exists as a tool of God's showing himself and telling his name to the entire earth. This is a hell of an introduction of God to the world. This is an emphatic summary of the theological rationale for the elaborate and excruciating sequence of plagues. The entire Exodus story is conceived as an establishing of the credentials of the God of Israel for all humankind. His incredible power has to be demonstrated in one plague after another. And Pharaoh's repeated resistance is a required condition of that demonstration. Well, the final plague of this week is the seventh plague, burning hail. Exodus 9:17. I'm about to rain down very heavy hail at this time tomorrow, the like of which there has not been in Egypt from the day of its founding until now. And now gather in your livestock and everything you have in the field, every man and the beasts that will be in the field and that are not taken indoors, the hail shall come down on them, and they shall die. And the hail struck in all the land of Egypt everything that was in the field, from human to animal, and the hail struck all the vegetation of the field and shattered every tree of the field. Only in the land of Goshen, where the children of Israel were, there was no hail. Once again, we have this theme of separation between Egypt and Israel, and again, there is mass destruction. So really, what's left of Egypt? No food, no water, no crops, no animals. It is a nation doomed. As a demonstration and an introduction. Yes, the world is sacred. So is everything in it. Express your gratitude, light a candle, make a wish. Celebrate your life and the lives of those you love. Share your feelings with them. Live free, be free, honor your freedom, be well, be happy, be blessed. Share and honor the light, and all who live in the light, and continue to shine. Continue to send to everybody you know goodwill and love. Pray for peace and freedom for everyone, and end to terror and hatred. Remember, friends, we're a community. We learn together, we celebrate each other, we love each other. We share this ride together, men and women equally. So let's send out love, not fear. Send out peace, harmony, goodwill, and healing to all who need it. And please do learn to forgive and learn to love, including yourself. Open your hearts. Honor the relationships of your life. Tell those you love that you love them. Take advantage of the time you have and enjoy the journey, because we take the twists and turns and the patterns that weave through the fabric of our lives in our effort to grow, to learn, to be, to love. So please, above all, do love. Now, bless you all. Have a fantastic week, a week of love and light, a week of peace, a week of miracles. Examine your intention and use them to imprint your will on the universe, because we set in motion everything that happens in our lives. It is our intention, our Kavana, our cause, our effect. Everything's linked. As I've said, you always have time to forgive and to be forgiven, because you have the knowledge of what's good and bad. So acknowledge what you've done wrong to yourself, to God, and to any person you've wronged. Ask forgiveness. But do so with sincerity, accountability, and vulnerability. Forgive those who've hurt you as you learn to be forgiving and compassionate, because the secret of forgiveness, compassion, and peace is in acceptance. Can you accept yourself, other people, the world just as they are? Can you accept life as it is without trying to control it? If you do, you can experience the peace that acceptance brings. So do not stop your journey. Do not stop moving towards your promised land. Keep on dreaming, keep on being, keep sharing, keep shining, keep teaching, keep spreading joy and goodwill. Do not follow fear, follow love. It's always in front of you. And remember to have faith. It is an unwavering adherence to principle. Just as I have faith in the principle of love in all of you, work to be present in the body. Celebrate peace in the year. Nurture kindness and love everywhere. Expand your heart. Quiet your mind. The deepest source of your real power, my friends, lies in your consciousness and your ability to be mindful, to be aware, to be present in all life circumstances. So make the most of your time in this life. Continue to touch and transform lives around you. You're never alone. You're forever blessed. And you alone have the ability to bring blessings to everybody you meet. Health, love, renewal to everybody you come across. We're all energy, and energy cannot be destroyed. It can only be transformed. Your words are your power to transform, to love, to bless. So be generous. Bless others and bless yourself. Love with the heart, because we're all part of the greater whole. Embrace love, not fear, forgiveness, not anger, and be there for someone, because someone will always be there for you, whether you know it or not. You don't have to see them. You don't have to know it, but somebody is there for you. And continue to explore faith and belief in what it means to you alone. And never accept shame as a natural state. Whatever you feel others have felt, whatever you've experienced, others have too. We share together, we learn together, we help each other. We are each of us trying to find love and acceptance and support we all have or could have. That special someone in our lives, so find them, tell them what they mean, and remember, you're never alone on your journey to your promised land. So watch your words. They can hurt you, but they can heal you. They can imprison you, but they can free you. Keep forgiving those you need to forgive, and keep asking forgiveness from those you need to ask forgiveness of. And remember, every step is taking you closer to your promised land, you are on your road to freedom. Many a mile to freedom, many a smile to tell. Ask my bluebird to sing you from the heart of a wishing well. If you should ask me to give you the reason for life that we know, then together we flow like the river. Together we melt like the snow. Well, thank you for joining me, my friends. Have a great week. Keep noticing the miracles of your life. Keep sharing the light. Practice forgiveness. Be thankful. Be gracious. Be kind. Be loving and believe in yourself. Spread a little goodwill to the world and keep freedom as your goal. Shabbat shalom and blessings to you all. Take care.